Hello, gentlemen. It is your neighborhood-friendly Lima here. What am I saying? Yeah, welcome to another deck building video about Broken Arrow. Well, deck tutorial, because I've already obviously built it. Maybe it would be fun to build one together, but I think it might take up too much time. Now, this you might recognize is basically the M60, but with a noob tube. The Engineering Combat Engineering Vehicle is what CEV stands for. And you might have seen me use this deck in quite a few battles. I've really been enjoying it. It is so difficult for the enemy to play against. Special Forces are obviously an absolute winner because of the Sentinel and the stealth aircraft, which basically Russia hardly ever shoots down unless it gets lucky. And there's a lot of good stuff here. There are also some weaknesses in this deck, but it's up to you to decide whether those strengths outweigh the weaknesses that we're going to talk about. As always, I'm going to start with the Recon tab and talk about all the units in here. So, you might have seen other decks where previously I do use the Pararescue as CQB. Not in this situation. And the reason for that is because the Marines basically don't have any manpads of their own. So you are kind of limited to the Ranger Stingers, which in this situation I've got as the Ranger Javelins. Bear with me on this one because there is going to be quite a lot of stuff to unravel here. So the setup that I've gone for is the Javelin provider is going to be this Ranger, which is obviously originally a Stinger setup, and the Pararescue, for that very reason, must be in the Stinger configuration to pick up the slack. And in honesty, it's such a fantastic squad. I mean, the amount of firepower you get at range. By the way, this machine gun is fantastic, this rifle is fantastic, and these are okay, but the Sting is pretty good too. The best part, allow me to just quickly say a huge thank you to you guys supporting me on Patreon and on YouTube channel members, of course. I've made a new format. Thank you so much for your support. About this squad, it's the only Stinger squad in the game, or manpad squad, that actually has a laser designator. I'm pretty sure that no other squads that have RPGs, apart from the Ranger Snipers upgraded, by the way, so yeah, it's obviously not an RPG, it's an AT4, but apart from these two, no other units that have bazookas have laser designators. So if you look here, Green Ops, Black Ops, yeah, neither of those have it. Right, so yeah, what a fantastic squad. It allows you to obviously put it into the back lines, and if a drone is sent out to try and spot your sniper sneaky unit, you just go bang and hit it with a Stinger. So it works pretty good for that sort of stuff. I mean, it works great for a lot of stuff, but yeah, also anti-infantry, fire support, really good. I mean, 700 meter range is really impressive. I mean, also 6 men, so you can put 2 of them in a Silent Hawk, which is what I've got, or basically any of these vehicles you can at least fit 2 squads in. And stuff like that. I do want to mention, by the way, you guys might be curious to know that I do also have a US Special Bookers deck, and that's going to be a future video for a later time, because whilst I was doing, you know, the Marines, which I think is great because obviously you get the complement of the armor, the helicopters, and, well, the Prowler. The Prowler is basically the only thing that you get bonus here. And the Pack 2, yeah. There's a few Marines in here, but otherwise it's mainly still Special Forces. It's the same story when you use it with Strikers. It is mainly Special Forces, apart from obviously the vehicles and the Sport tab, which, yeah, SOCOM guys do not do well. But in terms of air power, again, you get a lot more flexibility. So I will talk about that later, and I think I will do a comparison video. So like, subscribe, and comment for more, as always. Yeah, but we're going to concentrate on this deck today. So, 4 STTs, you have to have 4 Verbers, Stingers, Igglers, whatever you want, you have to have 4 of them. They are a very fantastic team. Obviously, don't take them CQB because they'll lose, but they're not too bad. They're really not too bad. They'll still put up a pretty good fight even in CQB kind of stuff. I mean, sorry, not CQB, but close range. Don't use this for clearing buildings. That's what the RRC is for. So for much closer range engagements, the RRC does really well. Now, a lot of people ask me, why do I run it in the CQB, or close quarters, as opposed to standoff? And I think most people get fixated on the Moors. But not many people realize, oh, by the way, because it's got obviously a lot more range. But not many people realize that the AT4 that the Rangers Reconnaissance Company which is what RC stands for, is actually 600 penetration. So most AT4s, so if I just show you on Falcon here, there we go. Most AT4s are 450, 400 meter range, and 8.5 damage. Now, with RRC, they are 600 penetration at the cost of range. So you lose your range, but basically it is the exact same firepower, yeah, as an AT4. The Moors and the AT4 are the exact same apart from range. Now, the next factor is you get less armor on standoff. That's a no bueno situation. You got your range, but again, for 600 and 500 meters, I'd rather the STT because they are 700 meters and suppressed. So that's a much better weapons configuration for the longer sort of range fire support. CQB, these are fantastic. In forest, phenomenal. These machine guns rip apart infantry like there's no tomorrow. They are very, very good. They defeat most vehicles one-on-one. Okay, not tanks, but vehicles, they will defeat them with these AT4s, no problem. By the way, 4 of them obviously means they fire quicker, unlike the Moors, which will fire 1, take ages to reload, fire another. So yeah, 4 shots either way. Yeah, very fantastic squad. It's not going to lose too much. I've got some little birds, basically just for quick little infantry insurgents. Obviously very agile, which is makes it quicker on actually dropping troops. So most helicopters are like 100 or similar. Little birds are 200 in the maneuverability kind of sphere, which is really, really cool. You know what? You should actually probably upgrade them. I should have done that. Essentially, if this is clutch. This is something that I had to have pointed out to me, but it is so useful. By the way, I'm just wondering why the hell do I why do I have so many points spare? Is it because I need to put an extra Comanche in? Is it because I cut a Chinook? Yeah, it's because I cut a Chinook. Okay, interesting. Why don't we just put an extra Comanche in and talk about it later? Right. Yeah, so as I was saying, little birds, when you put one of these little optics on them, it basically becomes a suicide scouting vehicle. A very fast, with good recon, obviously not the best, but you know, good vision, and you just send it into the back lines to designate some targets or find some targets for your bombs or arty, and they work so well. So drop your units off, then send it on a suicide mission to find some more stuff. Always upgrade your little birds, I have found now. Let's talk about the snipers. They are the cheapest snipers in the game because there are 2 of them. So they're 75 points, laser, all the usual good stuff. I really like this unit. I really like it. I mean, 15 points cheaper than these guys, and obviously a fair amount weaker. Well, 1 less man, less firepower, but the 2 men is also very useful because it gets into vehicles a bit easier. So the lava's 6, that's not really an issue there. But when you've got stuff like the Silent Hawk, and so you put a delta in here, that's 12 plus 2, some snipers as well. It works really, really good. So obviously it works for different vehicles, but I like this configuration. I like it a lot. I didn't know this is a suppressor on here. I thought this was unsuppressed, but there we go. Silencer. Lav. Yeah, the Lav is a really good recon vehicle. I can't praise it enough. It is fast, it's got a Bushmaster, and it's cheap. And obviously you can carry infantry in the back as well. It can't really do much else, but when you've got a massed convoy of these vehicles, even if you use the cheaper 50-point version, I do like the smoke. I think it's pretty essential. The extra armor, you know, it's extra free armor. But obviously with the upgrade, the best part is that you get the HP boost. Not that you need it so much because Russia doesn't have Hellfires, but yeah, it's kind of nice. And the higher optics, which is very important. So yeah, that's the difference with the modernization. The smoke, the optics, and the survivability. Definitely worth it. If you've got a convoy of vehicles, throwing a couple of these guys in, it's a nice touch. It's a nice touch. It's a good vehicle. You can suicide this as well and hope for the best. It will do alright for you. I love it. Also, the best thing about it is you can actually drop it. You can power drop it. So, yeah, a very, very fantastic vehicle, especially considering that you can just drop these bad boys out of a plane. Cool. Sentinel, yeah, you all know what the Sentinel is. Stealthy, annoying, speedy drone that, you know, for some reason it can take sometimes more than 1 hit of AA because it's 15 health, but for some reason it feels like it's got hidden ECM or something like that, but missiles don't track it very well. Before I talk about the MATV, let's talk about these guys. So the Falcon, these are in the Black Ops configuration, and that's because I have used it in this config as well. Don't get me wrong, it's a good configuration. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I just have to tell you that this is better. The shotguns are fantastic. If you're clearing buildings, etc., yeah, this is essential. Obviously, when you're clearing out forests, you're gonna kill the ambushes, what are they called? The diversante. You're gonna kill them, no problem. The RPGs are actually pretty decent as well. Like, yeah, of course, they don't do anywhere near as much damage, but if you shoot a vehicle in the side, you're still gonna, chip away at it. And any light vehicle, 65 is a lot for light vehicles. So, for example, okay, the LAV, there we go, 60 frontal armor. So you're still gonna hit it pretty hard. This, yeah, obviously has a bit more because of the cage armor, but let's take that off. Yeah, obviously you're going to hit it hard too. Let me just quickly fact check myself, right? The BTR. What is the BTRs? Where's the BTR? Moto. BTR 82, here she is. Okay, 120, but you're still going to do quite a fair bit of damage there. Right, back to my air power. It's called air power because it's got good air power. Obviously. Back to this, MATV. MATV is cool. It is a very cool vehicle. Actually, I'm just testing it. I don't really have an opinion yet. Essentially, it is a speedy javelin provider that can do a little bit of damage here and there as well. But otherwise, that's all it is. It's a javelin supplementer. I'm really annoyed that it only has 3 shots. That's the same as the Ranger javelins. So men can carry more than a vehicle can. I mean, look at this vehicle. It's got a lot of storage space. It should be able to carry a few more javelins, in my opinion. But that's how it is. That's how it's designed. It should also be able to carry at least 2 troops, like a sniper team, maybe 3. Because it does have seats in the back, but fine, whatever. It is what it is. I wish this was upgraded ever so slightly. The optics aren't fantastic, even though you do get a sniper, so maybe it should be 2000. That makes sense in my eyes, but yeah, whatever, it's just a game. Yeah, the 50 cal is cool, but again, it is just a javelin provider. It is the beefier, better javelin that has 1500 range, so good stuff there. That's the Recon tab. I love it. I mean, having stealthy, fighty, shooty units is such a OP part of America's fighting force that you can survive with just RC and STT. Like, you can, but you obviously need the extra bit of help from javelins and vehicles, etc. But otherwise, just these 8 squads alone will do a huge amount of firepower. Again, especially in, like, they're all silenced, they're all suppressed. The noob tube isn't, but yeah, these are all silenced, so they're going to keep shooting with their 2.5 stealth, not get detected, and yeah, even if they do get detected, they can fade and vanish into the smoke and into the woods very, very easily. It is such an OP team. I love the SDT. Let's talk about the infantry. So, the infantry has no infants. Okay, enough. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Right, yeah, so here's the javelin choice. The thing is, so the alternative is obviously a dragon. I hate the dragon, it just doesn't work for me. But it's this javelin. So 125 points versus... Oh, sorry, I can just pin these up, to be fair. Right, so you got these 2 squads. That's your choice. Obviously, the price difference is 15. That's nothing special. The perk of this used to be the fact that you get a 50 cal, right? In the squad. They used to be really... It still is pretty good. I mean, the damage is 2 and the penetration is 20. Whereas here, you get basically, it's a heavy machine gun. It's a portable heavy. Okay, fine. Yeah, it's a medium machine gun, I know. But essentially, when you look at the stats, it is very, very comparable. It is almost identical. And also, the fire rate of these is quicker, plus they're suppressed. So you get a lot of suppressed firepower. Again, suppressors are really important in this game. I don't know how a machine gun suppressor survives, I'll be honest. I mean, it must burn out pretty quickly, but yeah, I don't know. Wait, it's not just an M240? This looks like an M240 to me. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure if this machine gun is that machine gun. It looks more like this one, this M240, but yeah, anyway. Yeah, essentially, and obviously the best part is you get 2 of them. Yeah, I know you get the M240 Lima here, but it's not that good. These rifles are, well, they're identical. They are the same rifle, essentially. So, yeah, 2 of these, 200 meters extra on your javelin, which I think is kind of important. Same amount of ammo though. And in terms of squad size, yeah, you get 2 extra men here, which is a perk, but it's also a slight burden as well sometimes. So, yeah, either way, you save yourself 15 points, and I just prefer this squad. Yeah, I think I prefer the double medium, apparently, machine guns. So there we go. That's why I use it instead of those. Obviously, you can use the cat too as well. I mean, but when you compare these, obviously the turn missile is good and you get more ammunition for it, but even when you upgrade it, oh, you do get the health. I didn't realize that. So I guess you could upgrade it and actually make it a more, well, actually, yeah, that's more convincing. If it's top-down attack and does more damage than Javelin, hey, why don't you check this out? That is a good suggestion from Lima, Uncle Lima here, that actually maybe this is the better option than this. I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments below. I would actually be curious to hear about it. So, what's better, this with the Overfly Saber? I don't know, let's compare the actual Javelin stats as well. The speed is faster. Okay, hold on, let me do this properly. Let's pin that one into place, let's put this one up, let's have a look at the... yeah, okay, so... yeah, that is quicker, but this one's still quicker. And in terms of damage, yeah. Semi-active, yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? The semi-active means that if you lose line of sight, you might miss, whereas this might hit even if you lose line of sight. When you upgrade this one, it's terminal guidance as well. So yeah, no, that's... there we go. But don't use that one, stick to these guys. Right, Ranger Moors. I used to never upgrade these guys because I thought, you know, that they were sufficient in this configuration, but no, you really need to upgrade them to this. The 600 pen really matters, especially because, by the way, even though it's obviously 600 right, sorry, 600 penetration, when armor's 700, for example, you'd think that, oh, well, it can't penetrate. No, it still does quite a significant amount of damage, so it's like a percentage. You can do a calculator, this stuff, but yeah, anyway, it is a huge difference, and yeah, 150 extra penetration is a humongous difference that makes 30 points very much worthwhile. Mark 47s, yeah, I love Mark 47s. Any regular viewers know that I absolutely love these. I glaze them, I suck them up, and give them lots of compliments. These are fantastic bits of kit. Can't praise them enough. Burst ammo, infantry. I feel like they do more damage to infantry than actually is suggested. I think maybe because the blast radius is higher. Is the blast radius higher? 20. Okay, let's compare that to the Mark 19, shall we? What's the blast radius here? Oh, it's 20 as well. Yeah, I don't believe it. Let's compare it to the Russian ones, shall we? Right, what's the... these also have the same stats on paper. 20 blast radius. Okay, what do you know? Let me just double check one final thing. Yeah, 20. They're all 20, but I don't buy it. I feel like with those guys, with the Mark 47s, they just seem to kill way more quicker and better than any other grenade launcher in the game. I've also got these speedy boys with the Mark 47s as well. Again, because they can rip apart helicopters so well. Again, if you get one of these into the back line, you are going to be absolutely laughing. You are going to be doing so well. Yeah, the problem is, obviously, if it faces anything, it's going to die. But yeah, if you face a Russian S-300, happy days, you're going to be fine. Now, 2 Marine Raiders. Right, okay, so the Marine Raiders, yeah, you might be surprised that there's no Delta Force in here, and that's because the Marine Raiders are better. Now, when it comes to CQB room clearing, yeah, there's no competition there. The Delta Force is obviously the best. However, Marine Raiders are the second best at room clearance, and that's because of their 4 shotguns. So no flashbangs, they are still the second best squad at room clearing in the game. So either way, whether you choose Delta or Marine Raiders, you are going to win in the CQB environment. Now, Delta Force isn't as good in forests or, you know, house-to-house sort of fighting stuff. They're very similar, but yeah, the RPGs that you get, these 8 laws, they are fantastic at doing damage to infantry. They also, as we mentioned earlier, can do decent damage to vehicles as well, especially light vehicles and especially to side armor, etc, etc, etc. These are very good, and they're more multi-purpose, whereas Delta Force can't do anything to vehicles. these guys can. So that's another reason to go for them. Also 10 points cheaper is pretty good. Yeah, less smokes, but if you were to go for compare the long range, for example, that is an option. You could take these. Look, whatever this does, the rest of the deck does better. So Mark 47, if you're looking long range, the Mark 47s are so much better. And again, they can also rip apart helicopters and do some damage to some very, very light vehicles. Again, when we look at Delta Force, this Fletcher missile, yeah, it's nice, but I didn't really... it doesn't do enough for me to convince me to take Deltas. So there we go, CQB Marine Raiders, obviously biggest squad in the game. 14 men. Land vehicles, you can only bring them in this, even though in terms of armored vehicles. But most of the time I bring them in this thing anyway, so it really makes no difference for me. 14 plus 6, by the way, so 14 is these guys plus 6, which is any of these Special Forces squads, which is what... The idea is you pair them up with the Moors, by the way. I should have started with that. You basically put this squad and this squad together. Yeah, that's 200 points, kind of expensive, but you will beat any infantry squad, any armor, you will beat it. Just by these two squads alone are pretty much indestructible to any land forces. Again, 2-on-2 or 1v1 kind of situation. So yeah, very, very fantastic combination indeed. Also, people get scared. As soon as you see Marine Raiders on the battlefield, people retreat almost immediately. Now, I am taking a while because these are the best parts of the deck, as is the air power, as is the helicopter power. These will be a blitz, so don't worry about that. Right, Assault Men, everyone knows what they are. They are pretty good. They are actually very underratedly good in this configuration as well. I would actually recommend you trying this out if you haven't already, but I've got enough bazookas flying around, so I'm happy just to keep it with the slightly cheaper option. Also, it annoys me that you upgrade them but you don't get extra armor. Bit annoying. But also, yeah, 8 bazookas is nice, and they do a lot of damage and they penetrate really well as well. Yeah, surprisingly well. Very good penetration. Woof. Fantastic team. ACV 30s, you know what, let me just upgrade this and just take one of these out. Yeah, that's fine. It is worth it, trust me on this one, guys. ACV 30, we've got one of these bad boys just to provide some extra firepower. They are pretty damn sick, mate. Actually, you know what, I do like the ACVs, let me just do that instead. Nobody needs to know. I do like these guys, they are good for just ooga boogering, and yeah, they're kind of surprisingly tanky as hell. Yeah, good vehicle. Not much more to say about that. This is the cheaper version. I've put a Mark 19 on it again just to help me ooga booga with 4 ACVs together and maybe an RSOV or this guy behind it as well. So yeah, there you go. You get 6 vehicles to ooga booga rush in. Obviously, the Marines are a classic ooga booga fan. Sorry, if you're an ooga booga fan, you're gonna love Marines. Of course you are. They are an annoyingly annoying squad. Very, very annoying. Very tough to play against. Very, very tedious and tiring. Second biggest squad in the game after the Marine Raiders, CQC. Yeah. People know enough about these that I don't need to elaborate. Vehicles tab. So, this is going to be super duper duper quick because I have only got 6 vehicles in here. We've got the FEP with the jammer. Now, the jammer, it just works. People obviously go for the trophy. And I understand because obviously the trophy is very good, but the jammer works against Russian semi-active stuff. It doesn't work against terminal guidance that well, but I've even had the Ka-52, the Hermes missiles, missing against this thing like twice, 3 times. You might have seen it in a battle when I played against the devs. And that's because the jammer, it just bloody works. It works really, really damn well. It is such a good little jammer. Yeah, it is great. Don't forget, you still get 2 smokes, so you still have plenty of time to run away. And again, unlike APS, which obviously only works once, this works, well, it's in theory unlimited, but I find it works perfectly well for the first time. It's a 50-50 whether it works for the second, probably not. And then for the third, it's again 50-50, but again, probably not. So, yeah, I think it's worth it. It's also significantly cheaper, so yeah, bear that in mind. Right, noob tubes. You will never convince me to not use these guys. I know they're terrible. I know they're so slow. Trust me, I know. But this is an immense amount of firepower that can again one-shot vehicles. Yeah, amazing. We've got some toes. Yeah, we do have some toes in the deck. And again, mainly though, they're for anti-infantry because I like the bunker busters. I like the duality of these toes. Throw a couple of these in. You do need to upgrade it. I wouldn't bother with this. Don't do that. You don't need it. Yeah, this is absolutely fine. It does the job. Again, you kind of want these on flanks, so you're not going to be firing at front arm anyway. There we go. I did promise you'd be quick. This is going to be quick too. Now, this is the worst part of the deck. The worst part by a mile. Now, I need my MTVRs because I need to put all this infantry in. You could argue that I could obviously use these for 2 of the recon squads, and I do, but you can get a lot more men in here using the MTVRs. I've only got one Pack 2. Pack 2s are goated because they one-shot Russian planes, if they hit. Yeah, the Pack 3 MSE is probably a better option because obviously it fires 2 missiles, etc, etc. But when you have your radar on, your range is huge, absolutely humongous. It's a very good vehicle. By the way, make sure you put the armor on. Most people don't. I think people forget to, but it's absolutely essential you put the armor on. Not for the actual armor, but for the increased survivability. It is pretty damn essential. Lavs, I love the lavs, and my good friend Dan, you might have seen on this channel, loves them too, but in this configuration. And you know what, I absolutely back him. I do think it's a fantastic option, but I need that firepower, I need those stingers firing faster. So yeah, I go for that. MTVRs, now these are my troop trucks. They are going to keep bringing the infantry in, so 21, that's 3 6-man squads and maybe a sniper team, and obviously supplied to the front lines. The fastest supply truck in the game at 105, so yeah, very, very good vehicle. And here's the big boy for the supply of the Pack 2 and, you know, helicopters, etc., like the big supply dumps that you need. Yeah, I would love to put in an extra pack, I would love to put in an extra lav, and I would also really love to put in a cafe, but yeah, you're really limited, and this is a weakness. But hey, if you're not a sport player like Uncle Lima isn't, then that's fine. Yeah, the pack is a letdown, and again, the lavs are a bit of a letdown. You still have your SDT teams, but they're not enough. You do need your lavs to support you there, and the cannon on the lav is unbelievably good, unbelievably good. But I've maxed out this sport tab, so we're gonna have to go into helicopters, right? Okay, helicopter time. Very controversial. I know people love killer eggs, but look at this. Killer eggs at 35 points are the best thing in the world. 35 points, you stick it on a suicide mission, go have fun. Or, alternatively, you put it onto the back of the heli spawn, 2 of these guys, they're going to rip apart K-52s before they even get a chance to shoot back. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. So, yeah, with that in mind, with the purpose in mind, by the way, it's because these helicopters can do the role of the killer egg a bit better, and the DAP is exactly actually the best unit for stingers, because firstly it is a bit expensive, don't get me wrong. I know Kiowas, people like Kiowas and stuff, and people still like killer eggs for 75 points, but the 25% ECM goes a really long way. Also, the dual wield cannons go a really long way too. These are actually so good, so good. The stingers are very good too. And I really like I used to always use them like this, and don't get me wrong, it's a good option, but I really like it like this these days. It's my absolute go-to, and yeah, I just really can't praise this kind of setup enough. Now I've talked about killer eggs. This is your cheap suicide go have fun unit, very useful on spawn, so at start especially, it's very good. These, yeah, they're great. Yeah, that is how missiles sound for definite. This Gatling gun is actually really good too. It just keeps firing as well, which is nice. This is the Viper, so the big boy compared to this guy. I mean, they're pretty much the same helicopter. Oh, if any helicopter fans are watching, don't get triggered, but yeah, they are literally the same helicopter, just a later generation. With sidearms, so yeah, the SEED, the anti-radiation missile. So again, if a Tunguska, you're just out of range, so say you're firing Hellfires at a target, and the Tunguska switches its radar on, it is going to try and shoot you, but no, it's going to resort to shooting the sidearms, so you're going to target that instead. You have to use these in a pair because This is not a lot of missiles. They will get intercepted, but 4 will hit the target, will hit and kill the target, will get through. So you do have to use them in a pair to be very effective. You know what the Osprey is? It's a super quick supply helicopter. It's really, really good. I love it. I really, really love it. It's faster than some planes. I don't know. It is amazing. It is really good. Comanche, this is for backline. Sneak it in backline and hope for the best. I would say you should probably upgrade it actually, but that won't have the points. Yeah, it is really good. It is really, really, really good. 2000 refers to its ground range, so low altitude is still going to spot helicopters before they spot you. I know a lot of people like Hellfires on these and Stingers because all the Stingers fire at the same time. It is a very good option too, but I want to run it as cheap as possible because I think Comanches are quite hated universally by Russia players, and they will do whatever it takes to shoot one of these down. Like literally whatever it takes. They will suicide a plane just to kill one of these fuckers. And essentially, yeah, that's why I run it as cheap as possible. I think that's a pretty valid argument. Whereas for these, people don't really tend to give them as much attention, and they seem to just, I don't know, get away with more. I don't know what it is, but otherwise, yeah. These are pretty good helicopters. These are, again, for the price, people really, really underrate these. They're so, for the cheapest configuration, it is so, so good. Yes, a lot of people do this as well, so you're still keeping it pretty cheap and you get 2 Hellfires, which, again, I understand. I do that sometimes, but again, 35 points. Look at that. That's a lot of firepower for 35 points. Very, very good selection of helicopters, and it's just a very amazing helicopter tab overall. So, moving on. I'm just seeing how long is this video. It is 31 minutes so far. Cool. Right, the F-35. It doesn't need any introduction. The F-35 is an essential bit of kit. It is stealth. All these stealth planes. Now, I've only got 4. Well, actually 6, but we'll talk about that later. So these ones that come in close you have to have them stealth because obviously they can get away with it. They get away with murder. I mean, they literally do, just because obviously most of Russian heavy hitting AA is semi-active. And these are really good, especially that ECM, the 20% ECM, is really good for even when you do have terminal guidance, it does let you get away with it. So whenever you're doing deep strikes on high value targets, this is the boy to go to. So obviously it's got its own laser designator, so if you can drop this on a Terminator or a Barbarous or basically any Russian tank, you're probably going to one-shot it. I sometimes double tap my bombs just to make sure. You can actually, with the 2 bombs, hit 2 different tanks at the same time and kill them both, which is, you know, obviously 400 points, but when a tank can cost like the Armatas, 400 points. If you kill 2 Armatas, obviously you've doubled your profit. And again, you're not going to get shot down, especially if you have seat-up. It's just very unlikely that you will actually get shot down unless you fly directly at enemy AA and it shoots directly at your face, in which case you will. But try not to do that. Try to come in at an angle. That is a pro tip. Seed. Yeah, cheap seed plane. Pretty cool. The F-22 Raptor is an absolute beast, and again, a lot of people use this with the superiority fighter role in mind, which I don't think is as good as it should be. I actually think it's very disappointing. These missiles are very disappointing. They don't seem to do the trick for me, and it really annoys me. So instead of that, I use it as an even fast. By the way, obviously, the F-35 has a speed of 810, and the F-22 has a speed of 900. So this is for obviously targeting arty and AA. You can hit this, again, you're not going to get shot down most of the time unless you go directly at them, but obviously you've got your stealth, you go low altitude, it pops up to do a high altitude drop, and then it goes back to low altitude, and again, usually, especially with its faster speed, just absolutely gets away with it. It is an amazing plane, and I think it works really well with Stormbreakers. I remember I used these to put 8 Stormbreakers onto a building, and it killed 4 VDV Spetsnaz squads in there because, yeah, the building collapsed after 8 of these got dropped on it. So yeah, it is very good. Again, if you spread these out, say you're targeting arty or AA in the back lines, you put 2 per target, spread them out, and you know, you can potentially hit up to 4 targets if you're accurate. So yeah, it's amazing. By the way, yeah, the missiles are still very capable. So you still, for how much it is, obviously, if you were to upgrade it, you'd get this, but actually making it more expensive. But for how much it is still a very, very capable fighter indeed. Now, I got some cruise missiles. Again, it's just to increase the survivability of these guys, and they are quite essential. They are sort of lifesavers, these JSAMs. They come in quite handy. This is never going to get shot down. Again, firstly, because of the stealth, it's not going to get seen, the ECM, and by the fact that you can RTB immediately after firing, so you're going to be home and dry. What they are also shockingly amazing at is doing this. So they can't go low, which is a bugger, but bear in mind that they're stealth. So obviously if the Russians, if you're going around the edge of the map to drop these for 150 points as opposed to going like, you know, more or less directly afterburner and then RTB, if you want to do like a suicide mission, then these are actually pretty good. They, again, for 150 points, they're pretty damn fantastic, but I need these cruise missiles. I need them. If you're going for tanks and stuff like that, don't do this. They're far too slow. They're going to miss. Same with these guys. Even though it is, again, dirt cheap, just go for the cruise missiles. Right, there's a lot of honorable mentions in here. So these are actually really good, especially how you can put harm on them. So yeah, sidearms, sidearm missiles, I mean. Yeah, obviously anti-radiation when you're coming in with a Maverick run can be pretty good. So let's just do this, for example. 4 Mavericks, and yeah, anti-radiation, here we come. It works really well. What also works really well is this, but in the Maverick configuration as well. So there we go, 4 Mavericks you can get. For 285 points, it's got afterburners, it's got ECM. You're likely to get these missiles away, which is really nice. So the problem is it is probably going to get shot down, but it is a decent option as well. Now, you might be wondering why I don't have an F-35B in here. And you know what? In all honesty, if I was going to use an F-35B, it'd be like this, as an air superiority fighter, which would hopefully fire its missiles before it gets seen. But it's not a good option. Now, the problem you got is, obviously, with Stormbreakers, it's only got 3, whereas the Raptor has 4. With these kinds of weapons, it's £1,000, whereas obviously the F-35 has £2,000. It's just sort of like, it's still an expensive unit, by the way, so look, it's still it's 65 points cheaper than this, but you get half the firepower. Yeah, also it can't strafe, which is crazy. This cannot dogfire. That really annoys me. I tried to shoot down a plane with the gun because it was on 1 HP, but I couldn't because, yeah, I didn't have a gun, so that was really frustrating for me. I just don't really see a place for this. I know a lot of people do, and I would, to be honest, I would really like to use it. I just don't find it has enough advantage that these guys can't already do. Now, when you're playing a battle with this deck, the most important thing to remember is to use and abuse your air power. You have very, very good, very capable air power. Use it. Keep bombing that Russian AA, that Russian arty, the tornadoes, everything that's really devastating your super tanky ground units. Everything that's devastating them, you just bomb them. You keep bombing them to smithereens. Again, most of these planes won't get shot down if you use them correctly. Well, they might do through a bit of RNG, a bit of luck, but otherwise they're going to be pretty solid. Yeah, it's a very good deck. Look, don't take my word for it, try it. The deck is available on Discord in the deck files. Let me just quickly show you my Discord. Oh, I'm running slightly late or something, but look, here's my Discord. Oh, wait, I need to switch the camera. Yeah, here is my Discord. Look, lots of good stuff, and here's a good selection of deck files. You can, yeah, use and abuse these. Here's my previous video. There you go. Here's the deck file. Copy and paste it. Have a go. See if you like it. I'll be putting this up as soon as I release it. But I hope you enjoyed watching it either way. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Really appreciate you tuning in. Again, if you put a like and a comment and a subscribe if you're not already, it really helps me out. So, yeah, I would appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys. All the best. See you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching the video to the end. I really appreciate your help. If you want to support the channel, because I don't actually make that much off YouTube, then Patreon's the place for you. So feel free to check it out. The link is in the description below. Cheers.